Oh, hello. If you're a returning viewer, I'm experimenting with more flexible commentary and video formatting. This video and future videos aren't going to be like as strict and polished as my last several videos over the past year and a half. I don't know how long or short this video is going to be, so please be patient with me or be hexed, because it's good to try new things. At least I think. But I do like you hope the Kim Possible type ensemble I got going on, because I'm going to talk about some shit today that I didn't think was possible, at least for me, and maybe some of you who are watching too. My motto up until I was today years old is Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are fucking PR, and they're fake as fuck. And everybody's been talking up in the online spaces and all the social media platforms about her guest starring on Travis and Jason Kelce's podcast, New Heights. And as a cynic of love and romance, I will admit I have had my personal biases against Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's relationship, because she seemed like such a perfect match with Joe Alwyn that after they broke up, I was like, Taylor can't get any better than this. And yes, I am a Swiftie, hush your mouth. I can be a Swiftie and have an unpopular opinion. But you know, all it took was one episode from a bro podcast that I would usually roll my eyes and throw my nose up at to change my general opinion on the whole trailer train. I don't know if they have a couple name yet. I just coined them trailer. Travis plus Taylor equals trailer. I think it has a ring to it. Agree to disagree. But high five to those of you who agree. But any fucking way. It comes as no surprise that this podcast has a predominantly male viewership with the frequent sports conversations. So Taylor Swift's appearance, while it wasn't exactly a surprise, but definitely an offbeat choice of guests since most straight males hate Taylor Swift. But since the show talks about the Kelce's brothers' personal lives as well, it makes sense to have one of the brothers' girlfriend on there who is a pop phenomenon and everybody around the world knows the name of. And though I don't know whose idea it was to have Taylor Swift guest star on the podcast, I think the fact that she was even on it at all, even though her image and her career doesn't fit the New Heights typical audience demographic, really does show how proud Travis is of Taylor and how happy he is to claim her as his lady. I wanted to watch this podcast because I did have doubts of the authenticity of his golden retriever boyfriend image he's built with Taylor. But when I saw the podcast, I really tried to pay attention to the nonverbals of Travis Kelce's behavior with Taylor, because my thought process behind that is to be lovey-dovey for the camera in like paparazzi shots, because most of those are curated moments. But I wanted to see, just watching them straight, watch them nonstop for X amount of time, get some intel on the body language, the eye contact, all the things that gets my Scorpio rising investigative skills activated. The amateur private eye I am. And I gotta say, just based on what I saw in the podcast, I was sold on the idea of Travis Kelce genuinely being a golden retriever boyfriend for Taylor Swift. I saw plenty of green flags. One of the green flags that I noticed, and this is a green flag that gets really overlooked a lot. Throughout the podcast, Travis really let Taylor tell her story. He would keep his eyes on her the whole time, like he was really invested in what she was saying, almost never interjecting with his own 2 cents. Like he seems secure enough to not feel the need to dominate the conversation. You can tell that he's very attentive and prioritizes her thoughts and whatever she has to say. Let me show you this clip from the podcast that encapsulates, god damn it, that whole vibe and supportive boyfriend dynamic when she talks about getting ownership of her music back.
Tell the 92%ers how it really felt.
Oh, wow. So to catch anyone up who doesn't know about this saga, like I signed a record deal when I was 15, and I always kind of refer to it as I got my music back this summer, but I never owned my music at all. So traditionally, a lot of record deals are set up in a way that artists don't own what's called their master recordings. Owning your master recordings means that you have complete control and power over distribution, licensing, and essentially the way your legacy is shaped. Like since I was a teenager, I've been actively saving up money to buy my music back and to ever own it in the first place, because it's usually the label that owns it. But I've always wanted this to happen. The first time that it was sold, it really ripped my heart out of my chest. And I told everybody exactly how that felt for me and what I was going through. And I started basically defiantly re-recording my music because I wanted to own it, and this was the only way I thought it was ever going to happen. That was the closest I ever thought I would get to owning my music. And so re-recording my music, it was so exciting to get to have that opportunity, but there was still like, I thought about not owning my music every day. It was something that I never was, it's like an intrusive thought that I had every day. And so we do the Eras tour. After the Eras tour, I had a meeting with my team, and we decided this might be a good time to approach the current owners of it. I wanted to buy my music outright. I don't want to be in a partnership. I don't want to own 30% of it. I want to own all of it. I'm in the business of human emotion. I would so much rather lead heart first in something like this, because for me, this is not, oh, I want to own this asset because of its returns, because of its, because of the dividends that I will receive over the years. I want it because this is my handwritten diary entries from my whole life. These are the songs I wrote about every phase of my life. This is my photography, my music videos, most of which I funded. My artwork, everything that I've ever done is in this catalog. And so rather than send lawyers or management like in a big crew, I sent my mom and my brother, who I work with, to LA, and they they sat down and they this happens. I don't ever really talk about it because it's they sat down. They told them the whole story of all the times we've tried to buy it, all the times it's fallen through, all the times we had gotten plans together and figured out something we thought was going to work and it didn't at the last minute. And so my mom calls me afterwards. She's like, look, they were wonderful. They heard us out. We have no idea which way they're going to go with this. And so it was a couple months after the Super Bowl. We're in Kansas City. And I get a call from my mom, and she's like, you got your music. Yeah. And so sorry that it's literally been so long since this happened. It's every time I talk about it. She was like, you got your music. And I just very dramatically hit the floor, for real, bawling my eyes out. And I'm just just weeping and kind of unable. I was just like, really? Really? What do you mean? And I'm like, get yourself together, get your shit together. Just go tell Travis in a normal way. Yeah. And I knock on the door. He's playing video games. And I'm trying to say it in a normal way. And I'm just like, Travis!
Oh no, what just happened?
And he's he puts his headset down. He's like, guys, gotta go. And I think he thought something was wrong. And you come up and I'm just like, I got all my music back. And then just start absolutely heaving,
just dead weight, losing all control,
had no power in my legs to support myself. It's just unbelievable. And I was so happy you were there when that happened.
I mean, I was,
because I could not stand.
Yeah, I mean, I started crying too. You
were weeping.
I'm just so happy for you, because I've seen how you make music. I've seen how you make these videos. I've seen the effort and the focus and the strategy behind what just one album in Torturted Poets Department and in Fortnite. And I was blown away that you had been doing this your entire life. And for, your first 6 albums, you weren't given the rights to all of that. Mm-hmm. And I know what that looked like. And I know how much it burns you that you didn't have that and you didn't have your creation. Mm-hmm. And I think doing it the right way, creating the fan base that you did the right way, and leading your life in a direction that you were eventually going to get it back somehow, some way, because of you always doing things with the right intentions. So
thanks.
Cute. Oh no, I mean, really, I'm not being sarcastic. That's not me being a smartass. It's so cute how he's rubbing her back and holding her hand when she chokes up about telling the story of getting her music back, and really just all throughout the entire interview. And the fact that he can admit to crying with her, that's a man that loves his woman. And we also got to talk about how he is not threatened by her sense of humor. You're not Swiftie or anything. Taylor has a very dry sense of humor. She doesn't need to be all crazy. It's her deadpan delivery, the way that she has a play on with words. And the best way I can describe it is that kind of Jess from New Girl awkwardness. That's Taylor's humor vibe, which is probably why she guest starred on New Girl. Now that I'm thinking about it, well, it's probably not the main reason. It still makes her the perfect guest star for a show like New Girl. There are a lot of men who feel threatened by women that are funnier than them. And so to see a man that genuinely finds his woman funny and is entertained by her is such a breath of fresh air. And even though Travis is an athlete and Taylor is a pop star, he he totally validates her experience of the physicality that involves like performing and being on tour.
It was a lot of physical therapy, and it was a lot of like being in a state of perpetual physical discomfort, kind of like when you're in season, you know?
Yeah, no.
I'm not getting hit
my first time
by huge 300-pounders, but the heels.
No, when I saw the recovery station in the hotel room after with the toe spacers.
I gotta acupuncture that.
I'm telling you, dude, the similarities were crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh. She does more than I do.
That is the highest grossing tour in history, by the way. So doing the Eras tour was no joke for Taylor. And from what I'm noticing, Travis seems to have a lot of healthy, well-developed masculine traits, which is rare to find these days. A healthy masculine is not afraid to publicly gush about his woman in public. And that is exactly why the Sun conjunct moon placement is one of the best aspects to have in synastry. Oh my god. Just go fucking check out my astrology stuff. You'll get more clarification that way when I make astrology references in these videos. But I will say that sometimes Travis can overdo it a little bit on the compliments, because like he'll insert things and they're like, she's the best, she's the best, she's like the greatest. Not that there's, anything wrong with that. Maybe it's just my personal taste. And Taylor might actually like that a lot, receiving a plethora of compliments. But I don't think he's insincere though, that's the thing. I think he does genuinely mean a lot of the compliments that he gives her throughout the podcast. I mean, everybody loves a good compliment here and there, that's for sure. But I feel like it gets to a point where it gets kind of repetitive, like, okay, dude, we know your lady's the best. I mean, she is the best, come on. And nothing he's saying is not true. I feel like there may be like a slight insecurity on his part about not being Taylor's traditional type. Maybe. That's what I picked up on a little bit when I felt that he was overdoing it on the compliments. But again, like, he seems like a great boyfriend, not hating on the guy. As long as he truly genuinely loves Taylor, I'm happy and everybody else should be happy. And I personally really love this one point as someone who identifies as a neurodivergent, mystic, witchy kind of gal, which Taylor herself seems like too. She's into numerology, and she talks about it at one point during the podcast.
Let's talk about something I don't know. What is numerology? You threw that phrase out there like that's a comment. What is numerology?
You don't know what numerology is?
I'm
assuming something with numbers.
Yeah, like I'm 87 and she's 13.
Yeah, literally it's that simple. Just numbers.
And 100.
Yeah, 13 plus 87 equals 100. That's numerology. Like,
but what is
numbers that have a
So we
specific
keep it 100.
significance. Like, yeah, exactly.
Keep it
like
100?
Yeah. Do you not keep
Okay.
it 100 ever?
I'm trying to. I
feel like-
attempt to.
It's crazy that you don't.
What numbers do I have?
You're just admitting that like that.
Kylie, I don't know how to do this.
It's okay. It's not for everyone.
My favorite number is 13, though. It always has been. Travis.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's
And
part of the
that's part of
numerology
it.
of why
That's
we're
part of
dating.
it.
Okay.
Part of it.
If it,
Okay.
It's been in my life my whole
Right?
life.
Travis likes people that like the number 13.
yeah.
I love
What does
them. Yes.
liking the number 13 say about us, though?
It says that we're family. In trichodectophilia, I think it is the
What?
obsession with.
No, man.
With
It's
13?
every day, dude. This is every day.
That's a real
You
thing.
know what that
This is
means.
every-
What I really love is that even though him and Jason don't seem like the type of guys who would really believe or be into this kind of thing, but even though Travis has no fucking clue what Taylor is talking about when she's talking about numerology, I think it is such a glaring green flag that he is going along with it and agreeing with whatever she has to say on the matter, because he doesn't know shit about it. At least it seems. Or very little about it, at least. And you want to know what's actually hot in a man when they're not threatened by their girlfriend's success. You can just tell throughout the entirety of the podcast that he shows no signs of insecurity of her being the bigger star or fear that she will overshadow him in the spotlight. Again, a very rare thing to find these days. They definitely fit the archetype of the black cat golden retriever relationship archetype. See, the thing is, when most people think of the trope of black cat girlfriend, golden retriever boyfriend, they think of Andy Dwyer's and April Ludgate's. And I know that there might be some people that disagree with me. What else is new? Since Taylor can seem like a golden retriever sometimes herself, especially when she's in romantic relationships, and especially when she's around Travis. But I feel like her holistic vibe, her general vibe is black cat. Because golden retrievers don't write sad songs, challenge authority, or study numerology. I'm sorry, that's just what I think. I just haven't come across any. I have yet to meet one. I have yet to meet a golden retriever like the archetype of a person. I have yet to meet a golden retriever like that. So let me know in the comments if you actually do know a golden retriever who does do those things. I just haven't personally met one. That's why you got to tell me in the comments if they do exist or not. But anyway, after this, even though I was a hard Joe and Taylor shipper, and I've watched Taylor and Travis interact for an extended period of time, I think this whole online Joe versus Travis debate is kind of stupid now at this point. Because as a person, Joe was more like the private type. Him and Taylor really tried to keep their relationship private. It was a mutual decision that both of them had agreed upon, which Taylor had stated in Miss Americana. You know, they never walked the red carpet together. They only talked about each other publicly on occasion. But Travis as a person, you know, his love language is very like, you know, loud and proud. And I just think that Taylor seems like the kind of person that takes on the love languages of her partners. She wouldn't have wrote the song Mirror Ball if that wasn't the case. At least I don't think. That's part of her being a mirror ball. And somebody like Travis is exactly what Taylor needs after a relationship like the one she had with Joe, where people were always trying to pry, where fans always felt that they were entitled to know what was going on with them, what their next milestones were, all that kind of shit. And to go from that to being with someone who hypes you up all the time and is proud to show you off, I'm sure is a breath of fresh air if Taylor had felt like she was kept hidden most of the relationship. And by what I can tell, she seems to enjoy it, because she also did say in the podcast when she was describing Travis as a boyfriend, she was like, this is exactly the kind of love and the kind of relationship that I had been singing about since I was a teenager. And like, this is it. Like, I get to experience it now with Travis. So I think it's safe to say she'll be okay to walk Cornelia Street again. I think that's just about it for this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your Swiftie bestie. And if you really enjoyed this video, like you enjoyed the video like this much, then why not go ahead and join my emotional support coven? That's what I call my subscribers. I mean, it might be a bit premature to have a name for my subscribers, but whatever. I would really like it a lot if you could be a part of my emotional support coven. And it's so easy to do. All you have to do is just take your magic little witchy finger and just tap where it says subscribe like this. Ping! And if you have your notifications turned on, you'll be amongst one of the first to view a new video drop. I think that's kind of exciting. But I don't know, I'll let you be the judge of that. Thank you for watching me blab on endlessly, and I'll see you. I think I'm gonna start uploading weekly now. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.